Yeah, buddy.
This thing is built like a modern EV, but 4 years ago, before any of the other OEMs started really doing pickup trucks. Now what makes this really special is it's not just four-wheel drive, but it actually has the battery pack under the floor as well. So it's full skateboard chassis that the guys built a complete custom chassis around and roll cage all in one. And they've then got two Tesla large drive units. So they have a large performance drive unit in the front that's normally in the rear of the Model S. They've also got a large performance motor in the rear as well. Now the difference you'll see on the front here is they've actually separated the inverter from the motor side of the casing, mainly because of space limitations on the front end of the vehicle, because you need to get your lock, especially with the size of these wheels. So it's basically taken the three-phase AC cables that come out of the inverter, and they've gone back through into the motor side of the windings, and they've also got their liquid cooling. So on the Tesla inverters, they actually have 3 separate cooling channels when they're on the casing. So they've had to separate up, make this beautiful billet setup to allow them to do this. This one has a 0EV control board in currently, and also in the rear, but they don't talk to each other. So there needs to be some updates done on this potentially with the new AEM system, so they can run in 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive, front or rear-wheel drive only, but have everything communicate together with the battery pack and everything there. They've also got all that inboard suspension, which is absolutely beautiful. And then they've got a cooling system in the front. So they haven't just got motor and battery cooling, they've got split motor cooling. So they have a radiator in the front for this motor. They have dual radiators for the battery pack. But as this is a Model 3 battery pack, they actually have a slightly different cooling system on the Model 3 system, where they have the charger DC to DC unit, which sits in the back of the battery pack. That's on one coolant loop, and then you tend to have the battery pack itself on a separate cooling loop, which is the setup they've done here. Now we'll head to the back of the vehicle and just check out the way that's done. So the back end here, they have massive radiator for the rear motor, along with a 12-volt battery. They've actually put a whole Tesla Model S rear subframe in this and just molded that into the chassis, just to maintain most of the geometry and stuff from the Tesla stuff and help it get the power down. Along with the Tesla brakes, it also has the separate handbrake and also I think it's 4-pot or 6-pot brakes on the rear. As it's running the Model 3 battery pack, it's running an Nginx control system, which means you get to also use the Tesla charging system. So it still has crazy fast, rapid charging through the connector here. And then they've wired it up over there with the lock motor and everything as it would have been in the original Tesla. In the lid of the Tesla pack, you've also got your charger and your DC to DC all bit in. So by using that entire battery pack, you save such an amount of work when it comes to doing wiring and setting up this system, because it's all built into that system. There's basically a connector at the front of the pack which goes to the front motor, a rear connector to the rear motor, and then you've got your charger, DC to DC, and your high voltage connection. Inside this truck, it's pretty bare. If I can get the door to open. Nope. There we go. I managed to get the door open in the end. I may know how to build an EV, but I don't know how to open a door on a vehicle. Pretty snug in here, but the full roll cage which you need, because this thing's probably running not far off 1,000 brake horsepower. They have the hydraulic handbrake, which has a special place in my heart, as people will know from the Skyline I did. But what they did a bit differently in this car is they actually put a clutch pedal. Now the clutch pedal cuts all power to the motors, so it will basically freewheel. Then you can pull the hydraulic handbrake. What I did differently in the Skyline is I also wired my regen into my handbrake, so when I pulled it I'd have full regen, but because you've got front and rear motor, it would basically end up applying regen to front and rear at the same time. So by having the clutch to disconnect and then having the hydro, it really allows you to lock the wheels up crazy fast. And then they've got a normal brake pedal which will apply regen evenly to both motors. The benefit here is you can adjust the regen on each motor, so you can have more front regen or more rear regen depending on your setup, and obviously throttle pedal. They have an AEM digital dashboard which gives you all your data. Benefit on these, you can flick through the screens and see all the information going on with the vehicle at any one time. And then they have a beautiful AEM keypad here which allows you to turn on the front motor, the rear motor, or just be front wheel drive, rear wheel drive only. All the ignition system, indicators, headlights, all that stuff's on that. So it keeps the whole interior pretty basic and pretty simple. They've got a carbon fiber dashboard that the team made here by hand, along with this body kit, which is a complete one-off. Now I remember looking back when this was filmed, and it's on their YouTube channel. They did a step-by-step build of this vehicle, but all the fenders are carbon fiber, but they actually built them by hand. So they made all the molds and everything for them. And I remember seeing the hours and hours of time that went into producing them. Then they've got the custom one-off wheels, Toyo tires, and this was taken to SEMA back in 2021 or 2022, and it was on the Toyo stand along with the DeLorean they built as well. If you're looking for EV stuff and you want someone in Florida to help you, check out Salvage to Savage, and hopefully we'll see this truck back on the road really soon, potentially with a full upgraded AEM system with the new VCU 275, which I'm hoping maybe I can be involved and give them a bit of help on. Whoa! That thing is crazy. Wow.
This is a message to all you haters out there. So if you got a square body, you got a truck, and you got a LS something, you bring it down here to South Florida, because Andrew gonna stomp you, boy. We're all excited. So that's a wrap, man. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on any of the really awesome content we have coming up for this truck. We do have some track days set up. We have some races with some other people that have been talking trash. Some are not even talking trash, they just want to race us. Thanks for subscribing, thanks for watching, thanks for following along. Hey, go check out our website. Pick up some of this swag, man. Support our content. These videos ain't cheap, people. You hear me? Later. And you got this guy laying down on the job, man.
Hot pavement.
Come on, Kyle.
I'm hiding from the police.
I told the guys already, I'm gonna pull out the subframe. You are gonna install it. I'm not putting my hands inside that thing.
Wait a minute.
Two-way.
I didn't know this is where these were made. Look
Yeah,
at that.
man, look at that, man.
Look at that.
Yeah, the UK does make something good.
You